Hi, I'm Jason Sterling. I'm a gay dad, and I took the plunge, quite literally. Okay, now if you've seen part one, you know that I took the big B-day plunge. I did the big Botox day about 2 days ago. And mostly I did fillers. Botox was secondary. Mostly I did fillers, but, Botox is what people recognize. So I threw that in there as my B-day. I did about 2 days ago. Now it takes 2 weeks to fully realize. It takes actually full weeks, 2 full weeks before you actually recognize it. And this is 2 days. Now, I touched on in my original video that I was doing it because I'm aging, right? Like I'm getting older. Hold on just a second. Pardon me, I need to clear my throat. I'm getting older. My allergies are getting worse. And also I'm getting more wrinkles. Now, my big concern really was right around my eyes. I felt like every morning I'm waking up looking like I've been on an all-night bender, and I haven't been on an all-night bender. I haven't been up all night drinking. I felt like if I'm going to look like I've been up all night drinking, shouldn't I at least be up all night drinking? I mean, shouldn't I at least do the bender? Shouldn't I at least, if I'm going to have the effects, should I at least have the fun, right? Right? Yeah. Except I don't want to be on a bender every night. I don't want to drink that much. I have a job. I have a son, and I take my responsibilities very seriously. And I take my liver very seriously. So yeah, I don't want to do a bender every night, and I don't want to look like I'm doing a bender every night. So I signed up to do Botox and fillers. Now, I did not mention this in the first video. The fact of the matter is, just in case something went wrong, I didn't mention where I was going because I wasn't out to malign anybody. And if it had gone wrong or been bad or I didn't like it, I just wouldn't have done the video. My point really wasn't to have a sensationalized video like that. Now, I think it's gone pretty well. I was very, very impressed. So I will say I had it done with Skin Labs. They have locations in Norman, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I went to the Oklahoma City location because it was quicker for me to get in there. So I went to Skin Labs, and if you live in this area, if you're watching, I know some people off Facebook especially, I have a lot of friends locally and family locally that might see this through Facebook. So, hey, that's who did it. Or if you're in the region, they were very professional. I really thought they did a great job. Highly recommend them. And let me say real quick, I've done this disclaimer in the first video. I'm going to do it again here. Use somebody professional. Okay, here's the deal. I get it. You want to have a couple bottles of wine, a bunch of your friends over, have a big Botox and filler party. You know what? You have to make your own decisions in life. I'm recommending use someone professional. You do not want an infection in your face or around your eyes. You really don't. That's just my advice with love from the heart. Now, speaking of no alcohol. Pre-procedure for about 24 hours beforehand. I wasn't supposed to drink anything. Not a big deal. I don't drink a lot anyway. So I wasn't supposed to drink anything, and I wasn't supposed to take any aspirins, those sort of painkillers or blood thinners like that. Now, again, let me just say, if your doctor has prescribed blood thinners, don't stop taking your blood thinners. Okay? Don't go to your doctor and say, some guy on YouTube said I should stop taking my blood thinners, so I stopped. No, don't do that. Don't be stupid. If your doctor said to do something, keep doing it. Keep doing it. It's the best. The only reason why you don't drink as much or do that, take aspirins and stuff, is because it could increase bruising, right? So that's why. That's kind of the pre-procedure. I did some basic back and forth talking, but just a little bit. Most of the real sort of discussion about what concerned me and filling out paperwork, it is kind of a medical procedure. You're going to fill out paperwork a lot like any other doctor's office. And my technician was an RN. I don't even like to apply the word technician to her because she was an RN. I didn't even realize that till the end, till I got her card. But she was an RN. She's a full registered nurse. She went to school for a long time. She's a professional person with a college medical degree. So, if I use the word technician, I apologize. I really, like I said, I don't feel like that should even be applied to someone who's gone through that much training. Okay. So there we go. When you get there, though, you do fill out that paperwork. And then I spoke to the person. I talked about my concerns. Big concern around my eyes, little bit of concern with my forehead. And, that was really my big focus. Now, we did some fillers in here as well. Okay. So in this area and around my cheeks. Fillers, let's start on that real quick. Let's start on that. Fillers I use Restylane, or they did. They use Restylane. Dysport was the Botox. Restylane is let me look at the word here real quick. I've got it written down, and I'm going to say this wrong. But hyaluronic acid. Okay. That's HYALURONIC acid. So you can look it up if you want. Okay. So that is a naturally occurring stuff in your body. Your body makes that already. And they inject it in, and it helps stimulate collagen and elasticin production so that your skin takes back on a youthful appearance. Because what happens as we get older, a lot of you may know this already, you just stop producing as much collagen and elasticin. If a toddler had the same production levels that we do, their skin would look like ours. Okay? So that's part of where that comes in. That's what they used, Restylane, and that's what it is. But we talked about what concerned me, right? Then you apply a topical lidocaine. And you wait about 30 minutes. So wait 30 minutes so it is good and soaked in, so you are good and numb. But they apply that. They ask you if you have any questions, do you have any concerns. Now, this is another part. We're going to someone professional. I'll just repeat that. They're happy to answer any questions. If you have any anxiety, if you have any concerns during the procedure, if you want to stop, if you want to take a break, if you want to rest, whatever, they're more than willing to do that. Okay. They told me we've got plenty of time. Okay. So don't worry. There was a part where I was feeling a little anxious. I'll come to that, but they're like, we have plenty of time. We have plenty of time. Don't you worry about it. So use a professional. That's what we did. We talked about it. We put on the lidocaine. I waited about 30 minutes. I did my usual thing, talked to people on my phone, played a little Candy Crush, hung out. Now, at that point, they come in. The vast majority of my appointment was fillers. Okay. My total appointment was about 2 hours, I'd say. I got there a little early. But I'd say and get there early. As someone in the industry, someone who is a hairdresser, get to your appointment about 10 minutes early. Do not be late. Don't call at 10 minutes after you're supposed to be there. Like, I'm on my way. Really? Well, great. It was not my big concern. My big concern was, how am I going to keep on target with my next client? Am I going to keep from running late? They can have the same concern. So, be a little early. Be professional on your end. And so, they had plenty of time. It took about 2 hours. 30 minutes was the lidocaine sitting, but I would say the fillers probably took an hour, maybe a little more than an hour. The Botox took like 10 minutes. Botox super quick. Botox is the cheaper side, and it is super quick, probably like 10 minutes, right? As far as costs, I hate to go too much into cost because, it varies not just across the country, but across town. So I read online Botox per unit runs $10 to $20. I mean, that's a pretty big gulp. I think they used 20 units on me of Botox. So there you go. That's but yeah, who knows where you live? Call and ask them. They don't care about talking about it. Nobody, as a hairdresser, again, I will tell you, nobody minds if you ask nobody professional minds if you ask how much it costs. Okay. Better how much it costs before you get into it and get stuck with something. Okay. And so nobody minds discussing costs and discussing options. We really don't. Nobody in this industry that's a professional should. So I think that's what it was on the Botox end. Fillers, oh my God. I saw filler prices ranging from $300 to $800 a unit. I don't actually know how much they used on me. I actually don't. I kind of forgot to ask. I guess I wasn't really super concerned. And it would depend heavily on just how much you needed or how little you needed. So again, call and see how much, it costs, and then you'll know. Now, getting into the nuts and bolts of doing it, right? Okay, here it comes. I know the big question on everyone's head, everyone's mind, did it hurt? No, it didn't hurt. The lidocaine was very effective. Plus the fillers they injected also has lidocaine in it. Very effective. what they did in my case, they put, you can actually still see a little mark here, a little bit. There's another one on this other side. And there were 2 total. I think there's a slider ones up here that you can't see nearly as well. And they put kind of a cannula in there so they can slide in and out to the same spot. And they, move the needle around and inject the filler. Now, it did not hurt. Did I get anxious? I did. And I can get anxious sometimes. And I'm going to tell you the crazy thing. I didn't get anxious because it hurt. I didn't get anxious because it does feel weird. Let's go over that real quick. It does feel weird. It feels very, very weird. Here's the reason why. You are experiencing a sensation that you have never experienced before if this is your first time. You have never had something in there between your skin and your flesh moving around, doing work and putting stuff in there. And that is a totally different sensation from anything you've experienced to this point. And if you're my age, if you're getting up to this age, hell, if you're above 20, chances are, well, there's a few things on the more adult side of life that maybe you haven't experienced yet by 20 sensation wise. But let's say above 30 then. Let's go with 30. If you're above 30, probably new sensations are almost non-existent, right? This is a totally new sensation. You've not felt this before. And so there's a little bit of, what's happening? But it didn't hurt. It just felt strange, and you could feel pressure. If you've kind of felt that before. Now, I had anxiety, and this is going to sound really stupid because it is stupid, but the only thing I worried about right off the bat was, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? If I get up off this table and I look like Michael Jackson or some sort of fucking freak, I'm going to die. Now, again, I had to stop and remind myself, here's the thing. Hey, it doesn't last forever. It doesn't last forever. Like I already went, in this area here, it's probably going to last 6 to 9 months max. Manufacturer says 12 months, but the consensus online, 6 to 9 months. Around your eyes, about a year. But here's the thing. If you wake up off that table, you're going to have a pretty good idea of what you're going to look like because when they first put it in, it really gives you an idea of what you're going to look like. But then it dissolves pretty quickly because it dissolves and then your natural processes take over, collagen and elastin, right? And then 2 weeks later, you look more like when you first kind of got up, maybe a little less swollen. But if you get up off that table and you're just like, that's fine. They can reverse it. They can inject something in just like that, dissolves all that stuff. It's gone. It's not going to do anything. You're going to be fine. So I reminded myself of both those two things. And I got some water. I did. When they were done with this side, I did let them finish with this side. But boy, I was starting to sweat. I was starting to get hot. So I got some water and they actually turned the air conditioner down. They said, yeah, it was actually hot to them too. Because it was, this is kind of fall in Oklahoma. It was cooler in the day. So the heat was still on. And after that, I was fine. The rest of it was no big deal. It did not hurt. The only thing I would say, because I do want to be completely honest. There was one point on this side where suddenly I felt like I felt it, like, whoa, I felt that, right? Now, it was very short-lived, and it wasn't painful. That's why I told them, too, because they were a little concerned. I said, no, it really wasn't painful. It wasn't like I thought, oh, my God, get it out, get it out, get it out. No, it was just like you could suddenly feel it. So I did feel that, but it was so quick. It barely bears mentioning, except I do want to be honest about how the whole thing went. Afterwards, my face was just numb. You can drive yours. I drove myself home. I'm not going to say you can. You make your own decision about that. Talk to your own professionals. I was fine for driving. I was not under, I wasn't under the influence. My reaction times are not impaired, okay, because it's just lidocaine in your face, not in your hands, not in your eyes, not anything like that. So I felt fine. Had no pain. When you go home, they recommend, again, no aspirin or blood thinning type pain relievers. Take Tylenol, okay, or use ice packs. Again, I'm going to say this again because just in case you missed it the first time, if you're taking blood thinners and it is doctor recommended, for God's sakes, follow your doctor's advice before you follow what someone on YouTube says. And I don't care if the person on YouTube says they're a doctor. You do not know them. They could be a doctor of witchcraft. They could be a doctor of anything. So yeah, if you're under a doctor's care, you listen to your doctor first. Okay, listen to your doctor first. In my case, I stopped by Dollar General on the way home, grabbed some Tylenol. Now, also in my case, I did not have any pain. I didn't have any bruising, and I didn't have any pain. And they said when I was leaving, they said, you probably won't have any bruising because I'd had essentially no blood loss either when they did it. So it depends on the person, but I had zero. I mean, you can see right now, this is 2 days later. If I had bruising, I would still have it. And I did some pictures immediately, well, not immediately afterwards. I did some pictures the next morning because I wanted to give bruising a time to show up just in case it did. So people, again, would have a realistic expectation. It did not happen in my case. That night before I went to bed, I did take 2 Tylenol as a precaution because I didn't want to wake up in the middle of the night and the lidocaine is finally worn off. And I'm like, oh my God, my face is on fire, right? I didn't want to have that happen. So I took a couple of Tylenol, I took 2, followed the directions on the Tylenol box, you guys. I took 2 and I went to bed, and they recommend sleeping sitting up. Now, I don't think that has anything to do with the fillers or anything. They said it was because if you lay on your side, a lot of us lay like this when we're on our side or like this, right? And yeah, you're probably going to wake up. It's going to hurt. It's going to be hurting. It's going to be pressing right against it. But you are supposed to massage this area. In my case, because I had fillers in this area, you massage it 5 times a day for 5 minutes for 5 days, right? Very easy to remember. You do have to remember to kind of take time to do it, right? Yeah. But that was the other thing you're supposed to do. Otherwise, no alcohol as well. That's what they recommend. Again, for bruising. So no alcohol. And I think that was just about it, you guys. You know, I'll have a follow-up appointment in 2 weeks. And 2 weeks is also when it fully takes effect, right? And I'll have a follow-up appointment. They'll take a look at it and see how things are. And I was under the impression that if they felt like that, you know, an adjustment was needed or something, then you know you can kind of adjust it, right? Right. So now let's take a look like I did in the before. I'll take my glasses off so you can see better. Now remember, this is 2 days. The initial injection swelling has gone down a lot. That stuff does dissolve pretty quickly. So it's been 2 days out of 2 weeks. And when you're seeing this, it'll have already been not a full week, close to a week at that point. And I'll do the next one a week later. So you'll see the final result. Well, pretty close to the actual final result. Really, really. Okay. So I'm going to take my glasses off. Now this is, you can already see my forehead, you know, this is my eyes. Let me try to get in where you can get a better look. I hope that's visible. Is it visible? Oh gosh, I got nose hair. Let me put my finger there. So, you know, that's kind of what we're looking at eye-wise right now on that side and on that side. Okay. And this is what I look like just kind of speaking without my glasses on online right now. And the Band-Aid's not from that procedure. That's something else I did myself. So that's what I look like without my glasses on, kind of, because I wear glasses, you know, they hide a lot. And also I need them to see. So that's kind of where we are right now after 2 days compared to where we were before. Now, right after the procedure, it was a pretty marked, like, smoothing. It was. I didn't think I really looked different. Now, keep in mind, because this is not plastic surgery, I'm not going in to rearrange my nose or get bigger cheekbones or anything like that, or a new chin. I actually like the way I look. I just want to smooth out some of this stuff and erase a little bit of the aging, right? Yeah, that's where I'm headed. So it wasn't like this big, super revolutionary, like, oh my God. But I thought it looked really quite a bit better. And we'll see in 2 weeks, right? We're going to take a look at this, or in 2 weeks minus 2 days. We're going to take a look at this and see kind of where it landed. I hope I'll see you then. In the meantime, hit like, subscribe, and notify. That way you can see where it landed in 2 weeks. And until then, thanks for watching.